Get ready to conquer the week ahead like a boss and set yourself up for success with our low-key meal prep plan. Whether you're a busy mom or a student with a hectic schedule or just someone who wants to eat healthier, meal prepping is the ultimate game changer. In this video, I'll show you how to get started with meal prepping to save time and ensure you're fueled with nutritious meals all week long. Let's get cooking and make this week your most productive and healthiest yet. Recently, I have gotten really into what I'm calling low-key meal prepping, and it has totally changed my week. This prep is a game changer. During the week, we are busy between work and school, kids, practices, appointments, fitting in exercise too. It gets a little crazy, right? With some careful planning and tips I'll outline in this video, 1 hour on a Sunday can save you loads of time during the week. So if you're new to meal prepping or have been wanting to try meal prepping but have no idea where to start, then this video is for you. There are a lot of ways to go about meal prepping. There's the full-on pre-cooking every single meal for the week, stacked up in a whole bunch of containers, and that's not my preferred method. And then there's the prepping the most time-consuming ingredients while leaving just minimal amount of work during the week. This is my favorite, and this is what we're calling low-key meal prep. It gives us the absolute freshest meals while also saving a bunch of time. And honestly, I don't love eating the same thing every day, and I probably don't have enough containers for meals for all 5 people in my family. But if that's you and you pre-cook everything on a Sunday, then go you. But I just need a little more variety in my eating life. And also, while I aspire to do this every single week, it doesn't always happen, but when I do prep, my future self is so glad that I did. Planning and prepping means healthy meals are ready to go, veggies are prepped, and time is earned back. Seriously, this will save you about 4 to 5 hours during the week. So what we're doing today is prepping ingredients to set ourselves up for success this week. Let's get started. The first part of meal prepping is planning. I've planned out my meals for the week, and typically I focus on dinners and incorporate a couple lunches and breakfasts. I love when lunch is leftovers, and breakfast, I have my go-tos, which are oatmeal or avocado toast. But to have breakfast prepped is even better, and that's what we're doing today. Remember, planning and prepping saves you time and brain power. So here are my dinners for the week. Pesto pasta, sheet pan fajitas, quick stir fry with veggies, Italian chicken and tofu with pesto pizza roll-ups, and cut up veggies. And then for Friday, choose your own adventure salad. So now that I have all the meals planned out, I come up with things I can prep so that it saves time during the week. Here's the plan for prepping. For breakfast, apple pie overnight oats. Lunches, mason jar chickpea Greek salad with balsamic dressing. That's gonna double as our salad dressing for lunch and dinner. Snacks, key lime pie, energy bites, and cut up veggies in a mason jar. Dinners, spinach pesto will go with pesto pasta with veggies and our pesto pizza roll-ups. Then we're chopping extra veggies to make it easy for sheet pan fajitas and stir fry. Here's a true key to painless cooking and baking. Get all your ingredients out along with all the bowls and measuring utensils and everything you need before you start cooking. This way you aren't going back and forth to the fridge and to the pantry. That just drives me crazy. This way you have everything and you can just start cooking. And make your kitchen a happy place. Put on your favorite music or podcast, invite a helper, slip into some comfy shoes or go barefoot, whatever makes you happy. Now we can get cooking. We are starting with apple pie overnight oats, and they have all the warm and comforting flavors of apple pie and wholesome overnight oats. And this is the ultimate breakfast meal prep. I'm telling you, it's so good and so easy. So grab some mason jars and everything gets dumped in. I like soy milk in mine, but you can use whatever milk you like. And then Greek yogurt for a little extra protein, and of course our oats. Then maple syrup for just a touch of sweetness. We really don't need a ton here. Cinnamon to drive home those apple pie flavors. and then of course apple. You can see I like to cut my apple into really small dices because then each bite of our oats gets a little bit of apple and it's just so good. Plus I like to have crunch and texture in my overnight oats. I do not like when they are just mush. So divide them up, it doesn't have to be perfect, into each jar, then give it a stir. You can use a spoon, some people use a whisk. I'm actually using a butter knife because it gets the edges of the jar. And give everything a mix. Perfect, and pop the lid on. I love these leak-proof lids. Now it's time for the topping. Topping is crucial for overnight oats because we want texture and a little crunch. So I'm using almond flour, but you could use oat flour as well. And then pecans, but you could certainly use walnuts or almonds. And we're just giving this a rough chop and then gonna pop it into the container so that come morning time, all I have to do is scoop the topping out and put it on my oats. 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, give it a mix, and then we're good to go. Pop the lid on and let's move on to the next item. Perfect. Next up are key lime energy bites, and these are so fun and flavorful and the perfect little snack. My kids love them in their lunches or that after school snack so they can then run and play outside. And I happen to love them for that 3 p.m. hangries or a pre-workout boost. So everything goes in our food processor. We've got dates, raw cashews, some protein powder, lime zest and juice because we want to really have that lime flavor, and then unsweetened shredded coconut. Now we take the lid off and the smell of the lime and the coconut, so good. Now we have them in little ball shape, and to make them extra pretty, we're gonna roll them in a little extra unsweetened coconut. Look how pretty, aren't they fun? And then we will pop them in the fridge just so they set, and you wanna keep these in the fridge, and that's another meal prep genius. So pop everything into a container. I love these glass containers. Lid on to the next. Okay, this is the quickest salad dressing you're gonna make in your life. We're using it in our Greek salad and also a salad later in the week. It is Dijon mustard, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, a little honey, salt and pepper, and done. Yum. Now we prep our veggies for our Greek chickpea salad in a jar. So cucumbers I like to peel and take the seeds out because the seeds can be bitter sometimes. And then we want to chop everything so it's bite-sized. I love that in a salad, then it's easier to eat. And I like to have lots of flavor. So we have our cucumber, our cherry tomatoes, those are nice and sweet, Kalamata olives for that brininess, and then those are pepperoncinis, again, briny deliciousness. So putting it together, dressing goes on the bottom, then chickpeas, 1 can, and you divide it in half into each of your jars. Now for cucumbers, and then once you've chopped, everything just goes in. It's so easy. Cherry tomatoes, and then just look at the color. Isn't it so pretty? The olives, our pepperoncinis, and then the star of the show, of course, feta cheese, which I just absolutely love. And then you take some greens, whatever you like. I've got some mixed greens here, but if you prefer spinach or arugula, whatever you like, pack it in just a little bit, lid it, and there we go. So pretty and perfect for lunch. Turmeric pickled onions are that little something extra special we're doing in our low-key meal prep. They're super simple to make. Slice up your onions, throw them in a jar, a little vinegar, sugar, salt, and the anti-inflammatory powerhouse, turmeric. These are so good for you, and it's that little something extra special that goes so great on our sheet pan fajitas or our stir fry. My kids love them on salads. Kids love onions. Seriously. Next up is spinach pesto, and I just love this recipe and make it all the time. First thing we want to do is take the germ out of our garlic. If the garlic is older, the germ can make it taste a little bit sharp, so I like to take the germ out when we're having garlic raw. We'll just pop it out just like that. And then garlic goes into our food processor and 6 cups of spinach. We whir it up. Now we're adding the rest of the ingredients. So I'm using almonds here. You can certainly use pine nuts if you're feeling fancy. And then balsamic goes in, whir it again. We want to break everything down a little bit more. You can see kids walking around in the background to help. Then we're adding salt and pepper, Parmesan cheese, give it another whir. You always want to scrape down your bowl because things get stuck to the side, they don't get fully mixed. And then you stream in the olive oil and you can see how it starts to get a little bit creamy and delicious. Now, taste test. Gorgeous. Here's another low-key meal prep tip. Chop more than you need. I'm chopping extra veggies while I have all my stuff out so that I can pop this in a container and have it for meals later in the week. I've got red bell pepper and orange bell pepper, which, by the way, both have more vitamin C than an orange. And I'm gonna use them in fajitas later in the week, for the Mediterranean pesto pasta, and just for snacking on. So I've diced and sliced. Now I'm gonna put a label on so I know what it's for later, pop it in the fridge, and done. Now for the meals. Here's how I use these prepped ingredients for the week. Pesto became Mediterranean pesto pasta with veggies and chickpeas. Just look. So much nutrition in this bowl right here, and this is a family favorite. So yummy. Then apple pie overnight oats were breakfast savers for early mornings. Greek chickpea salads in a mason jar were awesome for me. I was so happy to have these when I didn't have enough leftovers for my lunch. Anyone else's kids going through growth spurts and just eating like crazy? Anyway, this is delicious and I'm gonna make this on repeat. Key lime energy bites were perfect snacks, and then extra veggies became sheet pan fajitas for a quick weeknight dinner. The next meal is pesto garlic knots. These are so good. I wanna show you how to make them. Start with my whole wheat pizza dough, roll it out, and then we are taking that leftover pesto that we made earlier in the week and spreading it nice and thinly over our dough, getting it close to the edges, but look, it doesn't have to be perfect. That looks good. Now a little sprinkle of mozzarella cheese, or Parmesan works great here too. Now we fold it over. You're just gonna fold it in half, try to line those sides up, and then we're gonna cut it into 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then cut each section into thirds, and now we braid. So lap them over top of each other, and then here's a key, pinch the end so it stays together, and then roll it up. Aren't these so fun? I love them. Bake them off and then dip in some marinara sauce, and I served these with Italian chicken and tofu. So good. And then I made quick sourdough croutons that are the star of the show for a choose your own adventure salad dinner. And this is the best way to use up leftover veggies or leftover proteins that you have from the week. This meal prep session took about an hour and saved loads of time during the week. With a little planning and a little prep, you can absolutely set yourself up for nourishing meals this week. I believe in you. I hope this gave you ideas for your next meal prep session. What do you plan to prep this week? Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching, and I truly hope this inspired you to get into the kitchen and prep a thing or two to save yourself time and energy this week. If you enjoyed this video and are interested in more healthy meal prep videos, drop me a comment with more meal prep. And finally, subscribe to follow along for more recipes and nutrition tips, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, eat well, be well, thrive.